time, and that's why we're already organizing a Marshall Plan. We already have a team of looking and reimagining LA 2.0, and we're making sure everyone's included, not just the folks on the coast, people here that were ravaged by this disaster.
You just said you're organizing a Marshall Plan for the rebuilding of California. What is that Marshall Plan?
For
Tell us
this region,
about this Marshall
we're just
Plan.
starting to lay out. I mean, we're still fighting these fires, so we're already talking to city leaders, we're already talking to civic leaders, we're already talking to business leaders and nonprofits, we're talking to labor leaders. We're starting to organize how we can put together a collection of individuals.
All right, people, did you hear that? He gave the secret away. He used the word a Marshall Plan. Doesn't that sound like martial law? He also revealed Los Angeles 2.0. And what I'm going to show you is that this has been a plan to reimagine, to redesign Los Angeles into a new smart city. And the thing about it is that this plan was devised in 2020. There's something very wrong about what is going on in LA. This is a part 2 to the other video I made on the Los Angeles fires. It's negligence. They're doing this on purpose because in their sick liberal minds, they can't leave people in peace. They need to restructure your life. They need to rearrange your life because you don't know what's best for you. They do. Now, if you're going to go ahead and change the city around, don't you want to get rid of its most wealthiest and powerful residents? It's not the poor people you got to worry about. All you got to do is throw them some crumbs and some promises. But for you to do what you wanted to do and what you plan to do, it only makes sense to get rid of those that will stand in your way. And if you think they didn't take note as to who voted what, where, and how for the president that we're about to get, which is Trump, if you think they don't know what areas secretly, they thought it was a secret, but they know who was voting Republican. And they saw it as a threat, and now they decided to pull the trigger and get rid of these people who are going to stand in the way. You have to understand that this area that was burnt down, these are some of the wealthiest people in the country and definitely within the state of California. A massive area where politicians, stars, business owners, the creme de la creme of Los Angeles society live in that area. These are the people that could get in your way, stand in your way for this future that you believe that you have in your mind that can be a possibility. The only thing is your dream of this futuristic city is someone else's nightmare. Look at these documents that I have up. They show that this is something that has been planned. 5G, rewiring the city, cars that every car going into LA would be robotic with promises of low traffic and no traffic, where you don't have to go and drive to the other side of the city and stay in traffic for an hour. Everything will be within 15 minutes, a 15-minute city. The problem, everything was already in place. So what you have to do is you have to bring it all down. You have to destroy to rebuild. And the way LA was set up, they weren't going to be able to achieve what they wanted to do with the infrastructure that was already in place. They needed a clean slate. So, bottom line, this was all planned out. This was not a freak accident of nature. This has always been part of the plan. And they found a psychotic governor who would do their bidding to implement this. Who knows what they promised him? But I'll tell you one thing: he will never be president. That's the only good thing that came out of this. But this is very dangerous. Who knows what community is next? One thing about government: once they get their hooks into anything, they don't stop there. Especially the liberals, they keep pushing and pushing. So we need to bring awareness. We need to know what's going on and know that this is not an accident. This was done on purpose, and it's negligence. Food for thought. I want you to take a look at this. I have 2 clips. Look at this here where Gavin Newsom is asking Joe Biden to combat disinformation because he knows his political career is over. It's not disinformation, it's the truth. And you're scared for that information to get out. Take a look.
And final words. I ask you, we've got to deal with this misinformation. There were hurricane force winds of mis and disinformation lies. People want to divide this country, and we're going to have to address that as well. And it breaks my heart as people are suffering and struggling that we're up against those hurricane forces as well. And that's just a point of personal privilege that I share that with you because it infects real people that are out there, people I meet every single day, people the mayor's been meeting with, and they're having conversations that are not the typical conversations you'd have at this time, and you wonder where this stuff comes from, and it's very damaging as well.
And in the second clip, we have Joe Biden acting like the old guy that he is and revealing and talking too much. He's noticing that it looks like a battlefield, how certain houses are left alone and other houses are totally destroyed, where there's a house that is destroyed and next door it's left alone and everything is green, but then the house next to it, things are melted. And he's basically saying that it looks like things were targeted. And then you notice where Kamala comes in and kind of stops him real quick. So take a look at this one. This is funny too.
You know, when I was with you, Gov, and we were looking around the state, it looked to me as I traveled when I was out with you in California, what it reminded me of more of a war scene where you had certain targets that were bombarded, where artillery was just blew them up, with no rhyme or reason. In other words, you'd have this fire going crazy and burning everything down, and 3 houses being fine. Yeah. Nothing's happening. Or neighborhoods that were still green. I mean, still green. And next to a place that, for example, you know, we're just looking at a Secret Service house that was out there. You know, all the vehicles are melted. Yet the house next door still has green shrubbery on it. And, you know, the house is fine. There's only, I think, 4 or 5 houses in that 200, you know, it's in the Pasadena area. But my generic point is, it's almost like it's a battle scene.
But you know, Mr. President, we saw that in South Carolina, North Carolina, Georgia, and Florida with hurricanes.
Yeah,
this is also the nature of.
So there you go. Old Joe doesn't know what he's talking about. I mean, he knows what he's talking about, but he's saying too much. He's going off a script because, you know, he's old and decrepit. But I want to talk about this document, the Smart LA 2028, that was created in December of 2020. This is like the evidence that's indisputable. All right. Usually they'll have like some kind of think tank when they're going to make a major move that way. They what they want to do is they'll put together some kind of information package to distribute to those that are the decision makers. And that's really what this is. You know, right here, it's, you know, it says the table of contents is saying a vision for Los Angeles. Whose vision? Is it the vision of the people? I mean, why do you have to change? Why does there need to be a new vision of anything? Just make sure that the city is run correctly. You see? And then, you know, you got this thing called the soul of our recovery. What are we recovering from? What is there to recover from? This was created in 2020. How do you know there's anything to recover from? You see, what they do is they tell you what they're going to do. They have to tell you what they're going to do before they do it. This was all planned. That's a funny word to use. To recover, the soul of our recovery. It's very interesting. And that goes to show you this was done by the mayor in 2020. I mean, but this is a plan that continues. It doesn't stop with one individual. Here we have a digital and connected city in 2028. These people have their agenda in place, and it doesn't matter who's in the way. If the people are in the way, they just have to be swept away. We have here where it starts talking a little bit about smart infrastructure, fiber optic cable, 5G, digital services. Everything's digital. Pretty soon there's going to be digital money, digital practices, digital data. So this is a pamphlet that's basically telling you what the future they wanted for that city to be. And they basically had a you know, get rid of it all. That's the way it looks like to me. With no disregard for the people, you know. Let's just, like I said, let's pray for the people of Los Angeles. And the point of this video is to know that this was not some kind of accident. This was an agenda that was well thought out, and they were going to stop at nothing to make it happen. Everybody stay safe. Take care.